ready for this, guys. It's like 9 a.m. Oh my gosh, okay, fine. I don't like hate you fully. I just kind of hate you 50%. This book is going to become my next obsession. Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. We are home alone again for the next couple of days, which means, of course, we are going to do another 24 hours of reading together. I have genuinely been loving doing these cozy readathons. No stress, no timer, just purely getting cozy and reading. So that is just exactly what we are going to do together. So it is actually 6:57 a.m. We are up and early this morning because Huffy just went to the airport for his flight, and it's actually a really cold day today. So honestly, perfect day to stay inside and just read books. We are actually going to start with Red City by Marie Lu. I did start this yesterday, so I was devouring this a little bit yesterday, and I am about halfway through. So we are going to continue and finish this book as the first one in our readathon. I am adoring this so far. So this is an urban fantasy. We are set actually in California, which is fun, but this is an alternate reality version of California where alchemy is very present in the world and takes a very big role in power and politics and all that. So we have a whole bunch of different crime syndicates across the world, but the two main ones we follow that are located in California are the Lu Mines and Grand Central. These two clans control, manufacture, process this alchemical substance called sand, which basically enhances everything that you are. So if you are known to be pretty in your normal life, sand will make you beautiful. If you are known to be very outgoing, sand will make you even more outgoing and charismatic. It'll highlight your strengths, but it will also highlight all of your weaknesses at the same time. It just truly makes you more you. So that is the setup of our world, and then our two main characters are actually childhood friends. One is Sam. She has always grown up with just her mother. They've never been very well off. So Sam has this ambition to become super powerful, very successful, to like change her life entirely. And then Ari is our other character. When he was a child, he was taken away from his parents and his family to study alchemy at a young age. And so the two of them are now like apprentices and growing in the opposing clans, but they were childhood friends and like almost more, but now they find themselves on these two opposite sides. So we have kind of a Jade City setup in terms of like the two opposing clans, the alchemical substance, but then on top of that, we throw on this sort of like Romeo and Juliet star-crossed lovers vibe. And I am really loving this so far. The writing honestly feels very V.E. Schwab, which of course is an amazing thing for me. I just think all of the descriptions of things feel very delicious. It's almost like every material and like every object is described as if it has life, as if it has a soul of its own, which I love. It feels so juicy, and honestly, that method of description I'm finding is really suiting the alchemy theme of this whole book, because the whole thing with alchemy is that like everything kind of has an energy, an essence, and to perform alchemy you have to like really know the essence and energy and soul of that object to be able to transform it into something else. So I think the way everything is described really suits the alchemy element really well. So I'm loving that. There is some letter writing that is a significant element in at least the first half of this book as well, so that's always a good thing for me. And something else I'm really loving about this book is actually how present alchemy is, because there have been a lot of fantasies I've read in the past where alchemy is sort of a theme, it's kind of an idea, but we don't really explore too much into it. It's just like something that supplements the world. But alchemy really is like the main star of this book. We are learning lore about the alchemy, we are learning so much history about alchemy, as well as specific details on how to perform the alchemy. So I'm really appreciating that. But yeah, I'm really loving this so far. The sun is finally coming up. It is 7 a.m. so let's just make a tea first because we gotta stay warm, and then let's get back into Red City. Okay, I've made it to the third act of Red City. I am still absolutely loving this. Oh my goodness. I feel so connected to Sam's character more than Ari's character, I would say. I think his POVs are still interesting, but I definitely feel a lot more for her side of the story. There's just so much that hits so hard, like without giving away too much about the story, obviously. Her relationship to her mother is so interesting to read about. There are a lot of feelings of responsibility there. There are a lot of feelings of anger, but also attachment and also guilt. And Sam has this instinct to kind of avoid her mother in ways. And the way this whole dynamic is written is so nuanced and just, it's written so well. I really, really love how it's done. And also in general, just Sam's feelings, like how she processes things, how she processes the things that she is made to do, like the things she's forced to do by this crime syndicate, is written so well. I find there are a lot of fantasies that follow characters that start off, you know, as an innocent child, and then when they progress to become these adults, they go through this 180 transformation. And a lot of the time that process of getting there, like the struggles, like those moments when you face these horrific things that this magical world has opened up to you, like I find that a lot of authors don't really explore those feelings too much. A lot of the time it's like, oh yeah, innocent young girl turns into an assassin and she just becomes all tough and fierce all of a sudden, and it just becomes a 180. But I feel like the feelings being processed in this book are done so well. Almost feels like Addie LaRue to me. I think that's why I'm getting V.E. Schwab vibes, is that Sam's arc to me kind of feels like an Addie LaRue arc to me, but obviously very different. Like the plots are completely different, but just the way that we get her POV and kind of the way I'm feeling for her is feeling similar to how I felt for Addie. So wonderful so far. Since we made it to part 3, I'm gonna reward myself. We're gonna have a little self-care, skincare moment this morning. So I'm gonna do a little treatment with my LED silicone face mask. I am using the FAQ 202 face mask. This is from the brand Foreo, and I do want to thank Foreo for sponsoring this video. I have been using this mask for I think like 3 to 4 months now, so a little while, and Foreo actually does have some really exciting Black Friday deals that I will get to in a bit, but I have been loving using this face mask. As someone who wants to prioritize self-care and skincare, but also as someone who tends to like to stay low maintenance, this face mask has been a game changer for me. I use this anytime between like 3 to 5 times a week, and the treatments are like 12 to 15 minutes long, at least the ones that I've been doing for the past 3 to 4 months. I love how easy this is to use. I love how I can multitask and like read and do things as I'm using it. And I feel like my skin is definitely thanking me for it. So the FAQ 202 does have 8 different wavelengths, including NIR. It can tackle dark spots, red spots. It can help with anti-aging, and can also just enhance your overall radiance. This is what I've noticed the most with the treatments that I've been doing. I've also been including this FAQ red light peptide serum in my routine lately. So I just put a couple of drips on, just rub that in a little bit, and then I put the mask on. And I'm not gonna lie, I just honestly love how this mask basically turns me into a sci-fi character. So all I have to do is turn this mask on. You can just use the mask by itself, but I actually connect it to the FAQ app because there's a bunch of treatments that you can choose from the app as well. I actually use this oil balancing one. This is the one I've been using literally for the past 3 months. So I just hit start, and we start with blue, we cycle through to yellow and green, and I love how I can just put this on and like go about my day, like continue reading, doing work, whatever it is I have to do, doing chores, anything. Because the silicone mask is also so flexible. It is so lightweight. I have been using this mask for months now. I would definitely recommend it. And they do have some amazing Black Friday deals happening. So if you do want to check out Foreo, this is the FAQ 202 mask, or you can check out any of the other amazing products that Foreo offers. You can use my code Jamie35. This will get you an additional 35% off on almost all Foreo products, which means that if you combine this with the amazing Black Friday sales that are happening, you can get up to 50% off Foreo products, which is absolutely incredible. So definitely check them out. Click the link in my description box below. Check out their Black Friday deals. I'm gonna sit here, continue my treatment, and also continue reading Red City. Oh no, I have that feeling of dread. I have that feeling of dread. Something terrible is about to happen. No. I don't think I'm ready for this, guys. It's like 9 a.m. I'm not ready for the emotions that I'm about to have to feel. Let's do this. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. This was so good. This was so good. I am Marie Lu's new biggest fan. I know I've only read one book from her, but I need more immediately. Like, I need the second book immediately. And now I'm also, because I know she has another series that she wrote before that I think was fairly popular a little while ago, but I never read that series. And now I'm like, maybe I need to read that series. I think, so this book is adult, and I think her previous books have been YA, so they may take a little bit of a different tone, but oh my god, I feel so connected to these characters right now. I need to know more. I need the second book, and this book just came out, so we're not gonna get the second book for like at least a year minimum, but I feel giddy. Like, I love that feeling when you get so attached to a fictional world and fictional characters, and like, I am feeling all of that right now, and I'm so glad that there will be more to come. This was so good. It gave me the angst that you needed to feel in a story like this. It gave you true situations, true scenarios where your main characters are hurting each other. Like, they are truly hurting each other, and you feel so much for them, but it's like they are just two people caught in these horrible circumstances where they have to do these horrible things, and you're just like, no. It's honestly, I'm gonna compare this book a little bit to Alchemized. The story is quite different. The setting is also very different, but I feel like there are quite a few similar themes. I mean, alchemy for one. But yeah, there is also a lot in here about two characters that are doing horrible things because of the horrible circumstances that they're in, but then they also like find solace in one another in these like unlikely situations. But I think what is done so well in here is that we actually get backstory, and like the first third of this book was dedicated towards backstory, and that's what I was missing when I was reading Alchemize, is that I didn't understand the intentions of the characters because I didn't know enough about their upbringing, like their lives as children, and we got that in here. So the amount of connection that I feel towards these characters is like literally insane. This is also just one of those books where you see multifaceted characters. They are all so three-dimensional. It's like you might think that you hate a character. You don't agree with the majority of their decisions. You don't agree with their actions, and you're like, yeah, I hate this character. But then you get like one chapter in their POV, and then you see like one little glimpse of another side of them or their upbringing or just like moments of their vulnerability, and then you just, it makes you feel for them, and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, fine, I don't like hate you fully, I just kind of hate you 50%. And I love feeling those conflicted feelings about characters. This was so good. I'm obsessed with this. It's a 5-star. It was kind of reading as like a 4.25 for most of the way through, but I think the third act really made it for me. Like, the first and second parts were both very, very good, but in terms of giving me that 5-star feeling and just seeing how everything wrapped up, yeah, incredible. I need more immediately. Thank you, Mary Lou. Also, does anyone else do this? I feel like every time it starts getting a little bit cold and like tea season begins, I do this thing where I make a tea in the morning, but then I keep the tea bag and then I just continue to boil water and refill the mugs throughout the entire day. So it's like I start the day with a nice like normal tea, and then I make a second tea that's like a little bit weaker, and then a third tea that's a little bit weaker, and then I'll maybe go through like 4 or 5 teas throughout the day using the same tea bag. But basically by the time we get to the 4th and 5th tea, I'm basically just drinking slightly flavored hot water. I don't know, it's just something that I do. Anyways, let's choose our next read. I actually have a particular read in mind that I was planning on reading today, and I definitely want to get to it today, but I do know, or I have a feeling that that one's going to be another very emotional ride, and so before diving into a whole other fantasy world and a whole other emotional roller coaster, I kind of want like almost a little bit of a palate cleanser, a little bit of like a grounding myself moment. So I think I'm gonna read Heartstopper by, who's this by? Alice Oseman. I have not really read many graphic novels at all. I could probably count on like one hand how many graphic novels I've read, but I found this in a little free library near me a couple months ago, and I picked it up because I've heard a lot of good things. I believe it's a series of quite a few, but it's a queer romance. I don't really know what the plot of it is, to be honest. All I know is that, yeah, it's a queer romance. It says boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. It's a story set in high school, and that's pretty much all I know, but I feel like this is going to be a good book to sort of reset myself. I have a feeling it's going to be like a very sweet, lighthearted, romantic story. I don't know how long it'll take me to read this because, again, I've never read a graphic novel before. There aren't that many like words on a page, but there are a lot of illustrations that, you know, you probably want to take some time to digest and look at. So we'll see how Heartstopper goes. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, I don't really know how to rate this. It's been 30 minutes. I finished this book. I tried to take my time with it. And I mean, it was a really fun, sweet time. It was very, very cute. But I think because I just don't read a lot of graphic novels, I'm just kind of at a loss as to like how good of a graphic novel this really is versus other ones. Like, I'm just not sure. But this is just a very sweet story. We follow Charlie. He's in high school. He is gay, and he has been, I guess you could say, outed in his high school, which is an all-boys school. So because of that, he's just not very popular, unfortunately. There are a lot of bullies, and he's very much kind of an outcast at his school, which is very, very sad. One day in class, he sits beside Nick, who is a rugby player at the school, and they form this unlikely friendship and maybe even something a little bit more. That's essentially the story. Of course, I don't want to tell you too much about it because honestly, like, not too much happens in the story, and it is very, very predictable. I would say this gave me the feelings of just watching a rom-com, you know, that's very predictable. You know what's going to happen. It's just very sweet and fun and makes you feel good, which is exactly what I needed after reading Red City. I do appreciate how in this graphic novel format you can, or not you, like the author and illustrator can really control the pacing of the beats that are delivered to you in very specific moments. Like if Alice Oseman as the author wanted us to kind of like spend a little bit more time in suspense in a moment, she could just take more like illustrations, like more boxes, more pages, more physical space to really portray through to you, like, this is a suspenseful moment. We are in this moment for a little while, and I appreciate that in a graphic novel. I found that was really fun to experience. I don't know if I will continue in this series. This almost felt like a prologue, kind of. It just felt truly like the introduction to the story, and we didn't really get into the thick of things, the meat of things. On one hand, I want more because I want to know what happens to these characters, but on the other hand, it's like, will I spend $20 on the next book? And I'm pretty sure there are quite a few volumes in this series. I just don't know if it's enough story for me, you know? Like with a book, maybe I just prefer more text over illustration. And I know there obviously is so much value to the visuals, the imagery. That is what a graphic novel is about, and I don't want to take away from that and take away from the illustrator at all. But this is just kind of like my own personal opinions on whether or not graphic novels are for me personally. So I don't know. I don't have too much to say. I think I'm gonna rate it a 3.5. I honestly don't really have a system for rating graphic novels, but that's just kind of the instinctual feeling that I'm getting. But that was a very sweet 30 minutes of my life. I guess that's what I can say about it. I think we are ready though. I have primed myself to get into this next book. I feel like I'm really like hyping this book up in my head right now because it sounds like something so incredibly up my alley, and it sounds like something I will absolutely adore. But this next book I want to pick up now is called The Poet Empress by Shen. This is an arc. This book releases in January, but this sounds like completely so up my alley. So we follow our protagonist. I think her name is Wei Yin, and we are at this era in the Azalea dynasty where the emperor is dying, the land is consumed by famine, and poetry magic has been lost to all except the powerful. So Wei Yin lives in a small village, and they are on the brink of starvation, like the entire village. So she lives there with her family, but at this point she has lost a lot of her family. She has just gone through the 5th death of a sibling, so things are looking very, very bleak, and she will at this moment do anything she can to save those she loves. So she offers herself as a concubine to the cruel heir of the blood-glutted Azalea house. And so I think throughout the story we will hopefully navigate through a lot of these court politics. It sounds like it's going to be a take them out from within type of a story, and to do so, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means learning learning the art of poetry magic in secret in a world where women are forbidden to read. This is an adult fantasy standalone. It says love is a weapon on the cover. Honestly, a lot of this is giving me a Song to Drown Rivers vibes, which is I think why I am so excited for it. Like in terms of the story, the premise, like the setup of it sounds very, very similar. We're gonna get into The Poet Empress for, I guess, our third book of this fun, cozy day of reading. Pages into The Poet Empress, and I just read something that is honestly so horrifying. This story feels like I am reading a dark mythological fairy tale. Just the writing style, it feels very much like a myth. You are really truly reading a legend, a fairy tale. The writing is very, very beautiful in that way, and I think like I kind of suspected this like going into this book, but there are so many elements in this story that are elements that I have been craving for the past few months. Like you guys know, I have been craving poison stories. I have been craving like court infiltration, court politics, court scheming type of stories. And on top of all that, I always crave softer female protagonists in fantasy stories. And by soft, I don't mean like meek or weak or whatever, but I just mean characters that find strength in different ways, that don't always just manifest in fighting, like learning, training how to fight and participating in combat. We have a lot of wonderful characters like that in fantasy, but I love a more creative take on how a character finds their strength, and we are getting a lot of that in here. So I love that kind of like the way of defying the empire in this world is learning how to write poetry so you can do this poetry magic that is forbidden. I will say, I think at this point, even though I feel like I'm getting affected by a lot of the things that are happening, I don't feel like particularly attached to our protagonist yet. I'm like feeling for the things she's going through, but I'm not feeling for her as a specific character, if that makes sense. But we do still have 300 pages to go, so I'm gonna keep reading The Poet Empress, but so far I am really, really enjoying this. Reading update time again. I just had dinner. I'm currently eating some grapes, and I definitely did take a little bit of a reading break as I was eating. So I was actually watching Lottie's November TBR. Hi Lottie. I am at like 270-ish pages, which means I think I have 130-ish pages left. I'm definitely starting to feel more impacted by the story. I think just like the structure of the story is very interesting. It's definitely not like your typical fantasy plot. There's not a lot of action. There's not a lot of plot, but we're more just kind of going back in time and learning about certain characters. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but most of the story I would say is kind of like going back in time and like finding information from the past. And I think because that is the way the plot is going, I actually feel more, I guess, like not attached, but more intrigued, more interested at the characters that she is investigating, because we're learning more about actually those characters than her character. So it's an interesting dynamic, and it's not something I expected with this book, but I'm liking the path that's going on. It's definitely different, and different tends to be good when you read a lot of books. There have definitely been very like touching moments as well, especially like as we're diving deeper into the past of these certain specific characters. There have been quite a few moments where I'm just like, oh, like my heart hurts, and I don't really know how to feel about these certain characters that we're digging into their histories of. Like I just don't know. Like on one hand I'm like, that's a terrible person, and then on the other hand I'm like, oh, but like maybe they didn't have to be that way. And I definitely love a book that makes me think. So I'm gonna eat a couple more grapes and let's finish up The Poet Empress. Guys, this is my new song to drown rivers, okay? This is my new A Song to Drown Rivers. I'm calling it now 2025. No, actually, I guess you could call it 2026 because technically this book comes out in January, but oh my gosh, you need to read this book. Especially, I will say, especially if you did actually take my recommendation and read A Song to Drown Rivers, and if you loved A Song to Drown Rivers, you have to read this one. I would put this under the same type of subgenre as A Song to Drown Rivers, but where A Song to Drown Rivers is more YA, this one goes a little bit more in depth and is just more brutal and more adult. And obviously there are quite a few different elements to the story as well. There's also more magic in this one compared to A Song to Drown Rivers. Oh, this book is going to become my next obsession. 5 stars, 5 stars. And I can't believe I'm saying this because that means I have found 2 5 stars in like within this 24-hour time span of reading. That is actually insane. I am like, can you tell? I'm like so hyped. I'm so pumped and excited right now, which is a very, very odd reaction to have because like this book is so brutal, but like so beautifully done. As I was mentioning, it's not even so much like the current day story that hit me, but it was more the diving into the past, really truly deep diving into certain characters and what shaped them, what made them, what experiences they went through to shape them as like the characters that they are today. Seeing everything that we uncover and everything that we learn alter our perception of like what's the best thing to do here. We have to choose a side. What side do we choose? But like as we dive back and like continue to learn more about these things, that decision, that like idea of like what decision is the best decision to make for the greater good continues to change as you continue to like dig. And even like at the very end, by the end, I did not know exactly what we were going to end up doing. And I knew that anything that we chose at the end of the book would be painful, but also you could see the merits in each decision as well. Like you could see the good in every decision, but also the bad in every decision. And it was just like, which one outweighs the other? Oh, yeah, this was so good. It's definitely a story that you need to give it time to cook because like as I was reading, especially like the first half of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? The writing is beautiful. I do like the story. I like a lot of elements in the story, but I wasn't feeling like too attached to anything. But like you just have to give it time. You have to give it time to cook. And when it cooks, it's so good. Oh my goodness. The Poet Empress by Shen. It comes out in January. I would highly recommend that you pre-order it. This was absolutely incredible. That was so good. I don't even know what to read next. It's after reading a book like this, it's always like, where do we go from here? I feel like I need something either real world or something happy or something cozy because I feel like I want to take some time to process this book. I don't know. Let's look at the TBR. Okay, so at this point, I have actually read everything on my monthly TBR except for The Strength of the Few, which on the day I'm filming this video isn't out yet, but I think will be out by the time this video releases. I have some of my 10 Before the End books here on my TBR, so I have Arcanum Unbounded, which is just a collection of novellas in his world. There is a particular novella, Edge Dancer, that I want to read before the end of the year, but like, I don't know if I want a high fantasy right now. I need something light. I also have Assistant to the Villain, but I don't know if I want to dive into another series just yet. A Torch Against the Night, but I kind of want to save that one for my next reading vlog that I'm gonna do. And then same with The Blood Trader. And then the last one on my 10 Before the End is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I really want to read this, but like I've already read too many sad books today. Like between Red City and The Poet Empress, I have felt enough emotions today, okay? I have felt quite enough. I mean, the only contemporary romance I have on here right now is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. Should I do this? I feel like this would be fun and light. Wait, what is this one even about? Hannah might look like a kindergarten teacher, but the truth is she's an elite bodyguard who could kill you with her bare hands. Oh, she's the bodyguard. That's funny. I like that. Jack is an impossibly handsome, world-famous actor who has everything, including a corgi breeding stalker? What? When Jack's mom gets sick, he heads home to his family's Texas ranch to help out. Only one catch. He doesn't want his family to know about his stalker or the bodyguard thing, so Hannah, against her better judgment, finds herself pretending to be Jack's girlfriend as a cover. Okay, so we have a bodyguard fake dating situation. So that's definitely an option. Oh, I've also had The Phoenix Keeper on my TBR for a while, and I actually put this on my fall TBR, and I still haven't gotten to it. But this one is a cozy queer fantasy about zookeepers, like magical zookeepers Zookeepers. I actually just picked this one up from Book of the Month recently, but Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krempholtz. This looks so cute. This one has a fun premise. It's also a cozy fantasy, but it's about Violet. She used to work for a villain, but that villain has been brought down and Violet's like wanting a second chance. So she moves into this small town and she tries to open up a flower shop and just like drop all the dark magic that was in her past and start new, start fresh. But her landlord is an alchemist. Ooh, we have another alchemist here. And I think some of these like dark magic villains from her past start knocking on her door again and threatening to uncover everything. So her and her new landlord have to like figure it out and save their little shops. What do we go for, guys? Okay, I've made my decision and I am doing that horrible thing. I'm doing the horrible thing where I should be picking up books that have been on my TBR for longer, but instead of doing that, I'm picking up the shiny new toy. I can't help myself. This is just something about me. Like, I get excited about a book, I will pick it up and read it immediately, even though I should be reading the books that I was excited about like months ago. But I'm gonna go with Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore. I just think this sounds so cute. It looks so cute. I'm obsessed with the cover, and yes, I will choose to pick up a book based on its cover. There's literally a dragon blowing out flowers. Like, instead of fire, there's flowers. I don't know how far I'm gonna get into this book, to be quite honest, because we are getting into like the nighttime now. I don't even know what time it is. I've lost complete track of time. This is a 24 hours of reading and I don't know how many hours we've done, but we actually did have a daylight time savings like time change this morning. So we got an extra hour. So actually right now we're technically an hour ahead of what the time actually says because the time changed. You know what I mean? I don't even know what I mean myself. Time changes confuse me every single time, but I'm actually starting to feel quite tired and I'm probably going to shower and get into bed and probably just read a little bit of this tonight. I don't want to stay up like so late and go crazy, but we will start this as our next read. Hopefully it gives us that like cozy, heartwarming, fun time that we need after some very intense reads today. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys right now. I'm gonna be so real. It's been an hour and a half. I haven't read a single page. I haven't opened this book, okay? I haven't touched it. I went on my phone and I started watching booktube videos. I just also felt like I needed some more time to process The Poet Empress. But yeah, I've taken some time. I did take a shower. I did get ready for bed, and so I guess I will now finally actually start Violet Thistlewaite. I am very excited to read this, don't get me wrong. I'm so excited. I just like, my mind just needed to have a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this in bed, but as I said, I'm not gonna like force myself to stay up or whatever. So we'll just see how much we get into tonight, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Good morning, my friends. So I ended up reading 70 pages of Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore in bed last night, and then I just fell asleep. I had no more energy left in me. I don't know what it is. I feel like I am so good in general with dealing with jet lag. Like when I fly to a country that has a significant time difference from mine, I always just force myself to stay awake until it's an appropriate time to fall asleep in like my destination country. And then like once I do that one time, like my entire cycle just resets really quickly. But for some reason, the 1 hour time changes affect me more than like an 8-hour time difference. Anyways, yeah, I read 70 pages of this last night. It's really cute so far. It is truly really cute. It is what I needed after reading some of those heavier reads yesterday. Bobs, good morning. Good morning, baby. Maybe the time difference is getting to him too. I mean, I've just started, so I don't have too much to say so far, but the setting is very cozy. So far, I'm feeling very safe. I mean, like the main like danger part of the plot hasn't really arrived yet. It's maybe just begun. So far we are just in this really cute setting. We are meeting all of our characters. It seems like a really cute town where all of the secondary characters that live in this town will play a big role, and I'm really loving that so far. There are some funny moments. I do really like our protagonist, and the world world just feels very fun because our protagonist is this, like, her magic is in plants. And so because of that, we kind of get these like sentient plant beings that exist around her, and they kind of act as sassy animal companions. Like, I would say that is their trope, but instead of an actual animal, it's a sentient plant. And I feel like that's just so cute. But I'm gonna continue reading this, I guess, just on my own time, and I will let you guys know how this one is in my end of the month wrap up, because our 24 hours is up. So to recap how the past 24 hours went, we read Red City by Mary Lou. This was absolutely incredible. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I honestly don't have too many strong feelings about this one. It was really cute. It was honestly really nice to have as a palate cleanser in between two heavier reads. And then we had The Poet Empress by Shen, which was absolutely incredible. Please pre-order this now. I just know this is becoming my new A Song to Drown Rivers. I will be so annoying, and I will continue to bring this book up like over and over and over again until everyone's read it. And then of course, Violet Thistlewaite is not a villain anymore. What a fun, cute title too. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this 24 hours of reading. I always enjoy filming these. I feel like they are just such cozy reading vlogs. Remember to check out Foreo's Black Friday deals. Link is in the description box below along with the discount code. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what you're currently reading. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!